Greetings, and welcome back to MyfanwyNia studio, here in Leitrim's Iron Mountains. If you're new here, my name is Harriet, and today I am sharing one of my Drawloween pieces. This was day 2, and the prompt was pumpkins. The prompt list I am following is by Mab Graves, and it's mabsdrawlloweenclub, #mabsdrawlloweenclub 2020. For this piece, I began with a quick sketch and decided to ink my sketch with Indian ink using my glass dip pen. I really enjoyed this part. It gives me the opportunity to redefine the messy pencil sketch and make it very crisp and sharp. I love the graphic quality of this type of inking. Recently got a bottle of white Liquitex acrylic ink and I'm playing around with it a little bit. So I wanted to try it out with a glass dip pen and just see what the line work was like. So I began with just dipping the white ink in. I soon found that it was clogging the pen more so than the Indian ink does, but it wasn't completely unusable. It did work with the pen, but I think you do a lot more cleaning with an acrylic ink as opposed to the shellac based Indian ink. So I quickly cleaned the pen and just went with the white acrylic ink and the brush. This piece is different from some of my previous illustrations because I decided to color it with alcohol markers. I'm not sure if the markers is very good for working on top of acrylic ink because I noticed that the acrylic ink tends to show through and the alcohol markers don't really soak into the acrylic ink in the way that they soak into the paper. That changes the ability to blend them in. It's almost like trying to color on plastic because acrylic is a plastic. So I think if I'm to do more of this type of work, I would be not using acrylic ink and maybe use a more porous type of medium to put my white down. And the white really shows up on the tone tan paper. Maybe next time I will use something like white gouache. I did feel like I got some quite nice effects on the pumpkins, and I really like some of the very soft colors that you get, like that lovely grey that I used on the upper part of her dress. I feel like it looks like transparent mesh, and she's totally a gothic Lolita. I like the expression on the pumpkin. There's one that looks a little bit dopey and then one that looks a little bit like he's trying to warn the other pumpkin because the girl has a knife or something. I feel like there's a narrative there, although it looks like she might be carving the pumpkin, although there's no pumpkin stuff around. She's just kind of holding it there and really what is going on. But I do like the image very much, and I'm very pleased with how my first attempt at colouring completely with alcohol markers and doing a bit of blending with them has gone. But I definitely think next time I would reconsider how I put down the white, whether I'll add it in afterwards, whether I'll use white Indian ink or a different type of white marker. I know I have some Indian ink based markers by Faber-Castell that maybe they would work well with the alcohol markers. I think colouring pencil could be a good option too. I mean, this is a new medium to me, so I'm still in an experimental phase with them. But yes, I'm pleased with this piece, how it came out. So that is the process. I'm a little bit behind on my Drawloween prompts this year, and that's because I took a detour. I took a week off doing my Mab's Drawloween Club. Maybe I stopped on the 8th and it is now the 19th of October that I'm recording this, and I have been building my website, well, rebuilding my website. I have just recently moved onto a new server and I'm changing my content management system from WordPress, and I started using Squarespace. So I'm building my site, so I had to copy all my information from my old website to my new website and transfer the domain across, and it's been a little bit of a learning curve for me because I had to learn the software on the new site because it's very different from WordPress, but it's actually a bit easier, I think. I'm pleased with what I've done so far, and I hope to launch the site on Friday if I can get it together to be done by then, which I'm very, very close. So I want to just give you a heads up where I've been and what I've been doing. I haven't had time to be on Instagram and things like that. Hopefully I have more time this week. So last week I did my very first live stream. That was very spontaneous of me. I usually would use a piece of software called OBS Studio to record my camera feed for my time lapses straight into my hard drive on my computer, and just above the record button there's a little button on the software that says start streaming, and I looked into it a little bit. Didn't take me long to figure out I needed to paste something called a stream key into that software, and that makes that little button work. So at the same time as I was recording my time lapse, I was also streaming it live. It was an experience. I'm not used to being on camera, and I don't like filming myself very much. I suppose by live streaming it, you don't edit yourself because you can't, because it's going out live. In my experience of trying to film myself, I've always overanalyzed it and felt insecure about putting it out. So doing this live stream was quite a brave move for me, and I think that it's good for me to do that kind of thing, to do something that's not in my comfort zone and step outside of myself for a minute and just like, oh, I'm just gonna do it anyway. I would like to thank everybody who tuned in for my impromptu live stream. Alicia from Alicia's Art Journal, Erica Joy Art, Dora from Weblight Dreams, my little friend Arisha from her channel, Molly from Art Splashes, and Timothy from Designs by CAD Pro. So I'd like to thank you all for coming along and showing me some support. It really made the first experience of live streaming on YouTube very special for me. So I really want to say thank you, and everybody who left me comments afterwards. I know I didn't announce it, so maybe next time I do it I will announce it, maybe on my Instagram or at the end of my next video when I get a plan together. But I really did enjoy the live stream. I do spend a lot of time drawing. It was a little bit awkward at first because you're aware that you're possibly being watched. You don't know who's watching as well. So like, I suppose I was a bit like checking in with my composure on the video. But then once I got into the drawing, I forgot about that. I was focused on the task. I was just drawing in my studio. But at the beginning I was a bit like, oh, people are watching me. But I've done live paints before. In the past I have done graffiti jams up in Dublin with a female street art collective that I'm a member of in Ireland here called the 𝕚𝕐𝕪 Collective. But that was always a feeling of community and the event of it. This was different. This is like opening a window into my little world inside my studio, so it's a very different kind of experience from painting at a live event. And I'm still mulling over this experience, and I'm thinking about how maybe in the future I could do it better, or give myself the chance to maybe watch it and just see how the camera angle was set up. So that's me. That's my little update on how I am and what I'm doing. We're coming to the end of my time lapse now, and I do hope you enjoyed it. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Do have an inspiring week, and I hope to see you all again soon for another video. Bye bye.